Hello, second grade. We're on to our next step in our thinking with this three-digit number subtraction. And boy, is it fun. Today, let's see what we're going to do. I can subtract three-digit numbers using base 10 models. Now, before we jump into this, we already know what that three-digit number looks like, and we've been doing base 10 models all year. So I wanted to remind us of some of the work we did yesterday and revisit that exit ticket that I gave you. So the exit task I gave you was 344 minus 27 equals, and I saw some friends work and did some collecting, and I thought that I would share the base 10 model so we could use that as we think about our work today. So let's take a minute and think. Where is the 344 in this friend's work? Right, there's the 300. There's the 40. You see that there is more than 344. But what did you notice? There's an extra 10 here, right? So originally, this was not there, and we had 344. 300s, 4 10s, and 4 1s. But then this friend told me I had to regroup and get more 1s because I didn't have enough to take away. So I crossed off that 10 and drew 10 1s over here. Then I had 3 10s, 3 hundreds, 3 10s, and 14 1s. Then they could take away the 27. So the 2 10s here were taken away, the 4, and then 3 more to get to that 300, 110, and 7 1s. I looked at that today with you all because we're going to be using that kind of idea to help us make sense of this work. And we actually are going to warm up with a couple 3-digit take away 2-digit, and then we'll do this one together, and then you're going to have some more 3-digit subtraction on your own. So we're going to put to practice this at your seats when we get there. This first problem says, and we call it a pre-launch, just like a regroup when it means group again. Pre means before. Like I love to preview a movie before I watch it. I view it before I actually watch the movie. It's a little shorter version. Well, a preview or a pre-launch is just like that. Instead of a full-on launch, I'm going to pre-launch it. We're going to share some things that we know, and then we're going to dive into the math, okay? We're going to dive into our new learning. So this pre-launch says, Carl had 317 baseball cards. 317. He gave his friend Gavin 40 or 75. How would I show that in my equation? Right, I'm going to give away 75. How many baseball cards does Carl have now? Well, what can we do to help us solve this work? I've got to show 317 first, don't I? And how would I show that using my base 10 models? 300. Tell me more, second grade. You're so smart. 110. And 7 1s. Now, how am I going to take away 75? What do you notice about this? Yes. What do you notice about it? I don't have enough 10s, do I? How many 10s do I need to take away? I need to take away 7. How many do I have? I only have 1. How would I do that? I've got to break apart this 100. So I'm going to cross that 100 off, and what am I going to regroup it with? How am I going to regroup that 100? 10 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 70, 80, 90, 100. Tell me, friends, do I still have 317? 100, 200, 300, 310, and then 7. I do have 317. We want to make sure that we're still starting with that same number, even if we're regrouping. And sometimes that means we go back and we recount our tens that have been broken up, or our 100 that have been broken up into tens. So what am I going to do next? I'm going to take away 7 tens. 1 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to take away 5 ones. And what do you notice? I have 200. I have 40 in my tens, or 4 tens. And I have 2 ones. So what number does that make? 200 plus 40 plus 2. It equals 242. And I want to make sure I put that back up there in my box for the unknown. We're going to be doing some other regrouping. And sometimes we might regroup our tens. We might have to break up our 100 and make 10 tens. Sometimes we'll have to do what we did yesterday, where we broke up a 10 into 10 ones. So be paying close attention to that regrouping piece today as we subtract using these base 10 models. Let's take a peek at our second problem. Solve, using your base 10 models, 256, take away 61. Say it for you one more time. 256, take away 61. How would you use your base 10 blocks or your models to show this work? You may begin. What did you do to show 256? 200s, 5 10s, 6 1s, okay. And how are you going to take away 61? So what are you going to actually regroup? I don't see you regrouping here. You didn't have to cross anything off. Why didn't you have to cross anything off? How did you show 256? Why did you do it that way? Oh, you looked ahead. You knew that 6? Okay. So then how did that make it just a little bit easier? Yeah, you didn't have to worry about that regrouping piece, did you? That was so smart. And then what did you have when you crossed off your 61? So how many tens did you have? How much did you have in tens altogether? There's your 100. How many tens? Or how much in tens? So how did you know that equaled 256? Friends at home, I'm going to have you stop, pause me if you're not done. If you are done, let's go ahead and stop, freeze, and put our pencils down. We're going to share some learning. All right, talk to me about how we showed 256 with our base 10 blocks. We're actually going to show 2 different ways today. Okay, so you said there was 200s, 5 10s, and 6 1s. Who else did this? Lots of hands, lots of wiggle waggles. So we have our 200s, our 5 10s, and our 6 1s. 200s, 5 10s, 6 1s. What did you do next? You took away your 1 from 61. Okay? And then what did you do? And what did you run into when you had to take away 6 10s? You only have 5, so what did you have to do? Take that 100, bust it up, and you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Whew. Now you can take away your 6 10s. So you're going to take away those 5 and then 1 more. Okay, and what did you find out? You have 100, 90 in tens, or 9 10s, and 5 1s, which looks more like an S when I drew it up there. So what does 100 plus 90 plus 5 equal? 195. How many of you got that same answer? A little regrouping there. I had a friend that didn't have to regroup. I know, weird, right? How do you not regroup when we have more tens to take away than the tens we have? And what did you tell me, my friend? So those of you who don't hear my friend, they said, well, I looked ahead and I saw that I had to take away 6 10s and I only had 5 10s. So I just drew 100 and then just drew enough tens. So how many tens did you draw? 15 tens. And how did you know that 15 tens is going to get you to enough? Because what 10 tens is 100, and then the 5 tens makes the 50. So let's go ahead and do that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. So this is 100. Where's your 200? 200, 250, and then 256. Then what did you do? Took away your 1. And then took away your 6. And what did you end up with? 100. This was 10. You took 1 away from that one, which was 9. So that's 90. And then you had your 5 ones left over, which was 195. What is the benefit of doing what you did? How does that help you solve it? Okay, so you don't have something crossed off so it doesn't get too confused. Maybe it doesn't get quite as confusing. Okay. What's the benefit of doing this one? You can see your 200s, your 5 tens, and your 6 ones. Absolutely. So whichever way you like to do it is fine. We're going to use this to help us make sense of this one. And remember, you may have to regroup. So we just took away our 61 here. That's just still a 2-digit number. But our learning target today was I can subtract 3-digit numbers using our base 10 models. So here's where the money's at, right? This is what we've been trying to get to. Warm up, warm up. Now let's really get cooking, okay? 423 minus 285. How will we solve this work, my friends? Go ahead and show me what you know. Oh, yes, I see some of you doing either of those ways where you're already breaking up those hundreds. How did you show 423? And what did you have to do first after you built that? What numbers did you have to decompose or regroup? Why did you have to regroup both? So what did you find when you did that? How many ones do you have left over? How many tens? How many ones? Or hundreds? I already asked about ones. Now, you only have 3 hundreds. Where's your 4th hundred? It's 423. Ah, and your 10 tens. Okay. But I only see 11 tens. I don't see 12 tens that I would think you would need. Oh, why did you have 13 ones? So you broke apart a 10. Oh, friends, we got some really great work going on here. Let's take a peek. All right, we're going to show maybe our more standard way of showing 423 first. And then we'll show our second way here in a minute. So your 400, 20, and 3. 400s, 2 10s, 3 1s. Who knows who did that same thing? Quite a few of you. How about you guys at home? You guys all doing that? All right, what did you do next? So you started with your 5 ones that you needed to take away. And what did you find out? You only have 3, so what do you got to do? You're going to bust it up, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? So you crossed off a 10, and you have 10 ones. So we still have 400, 410, 420, 423. Now you're going to cross off the 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And then what are you going to do? Take away 8 tens. All right. Uh-oh. What was your problem? You only have 1 10 to take away. So what do you need to do? You need to cross off 100. And what are you going to do in its place? regroup it. 10, 20, how many do I need to have in 100 and tens? You trade it for 100, right? So there's 100. 100. How many tens is in 100? Are in 100? 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And you said that should be 10 tens, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tens, which is worth 100. So what are you going to do next? Cross off 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so did you circle these when you were done? Why did you circle what was left over? I do like that. It helps you kind of keep track of it. Good move. Now what are you going to do? Take away 2 hundreds. 1, 2. And what did you have left? So you had 100. How many tens? You had 30 and tens, or 3 tens, and you had 8 ones. So what did you have left? 138. Who else had that same answer? Woo, you guys are so smart. All right. How did you show it differently? Use one of the things from that playbook, right? All right, so you only had 300s. Only drew 300s. 100, 200, 300. Then what did you do? Made another 100. Did you draw it here? Ah, you did it in tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay. Then what? Why did you only draw one extra 10 for your 20? You saw both those numbers bigger, so you knew you were going to need more tens or more ones too. Okay, so this is your 20. So if we're going to, hold on, let me get both hands up here. So your 400 is your 300s and then your 110s, right? Well, here's your 20. Can you see that if I block it off? You have a 10 and 10 ones. 10 and 10 is 20. All right, then how about your 5? How about your 3 ones? 1, 2, 3. All right. Do we have 423? Got it? If we're going to break it up like that, I'm great with it. But I want you to make sure you can prove that that shows that 423. 300, 400, 410, 420, 421, 422, 423. Now what? You're going to take away your 200s, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, your 8 tens, and your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. And what do you have left? 100, 3 tens, which is worth 30, and 5 and 3 ones, which is 8, and you have 138. As you are solving these problems today on your own, remember, you're drawing your base 10 blocks and you may have to regroup. So you can think of either of these ways that you can draw those base 10 blocks to make it easier for you to subtract those 3-digit numbers. And today we're just focusing on using those base 10 models. Happy solving, second grade!